All right. Welcome to day one of the acceleration process, where you will learn how to live the warrior's way in a hyperspeed to get the things that you want. Now, as I was growing up and as I got into business, I often heard this term is you got to build a solid foundation. And for many years, building different businesses, I thought the foundation was money, right? If you stack the money and you build on top of that money, it will be solid. But a very common thing kept on occurring, which was the buildup of the business and then the burn down of the business. You see, what I realized is that money was fragile. Anytime there was a pouring of issues or problems, the foundation came crumbling down. And in different aspects of my business, it went alongside with IRS issues, marriage issues, whatever the problem was, it seemed to pour down on that foundation and everything was gone. So it all started, my entrepreneurial career started when I started asking myself better questions. And in building a foundation, you got to be able to ask yourself better questions. And I remember sitting there as a 25-year-old hotshot, right, going through corporate America and climbing fairly quickly. I remember sitting in my office with 12 employees on the floor and asking myself, is this all? Everyone that I spoke to that has been there for years at UPS kept on sharing the idea that if you retire with UPS, you will be a multi-millionaire. I was 25 years old. I wasn't looking for retirement, but I was asking myself good questions. And the question of, is this all, led me to getting my real estate license. It led me to building a powerful real estate team and then a brokerage. It led me to have corporate clients. And that same question kept on leading me to investments and coaching. That same question kept on leading me to other aspirations. But at some point, that question was no longer powerful enough to keep me going because I didn't understand the power of questions. I only knew one question. It got me far. And when I realized that same question couldn't take me anywhere else, that's when I went seeking for answers. So one of the first questions that I ran into from my coach is a very basic but very powerful question. And here I thought going to a coach, he was just going to direct me and tell me what to do. But instead, he just asked better questions, the power of questions, right? And the question he asked was, who are you? And I gave him this nice elaborate story of who I was and how much money I was making. And he asked me that question again. And I gave him a different story of all the shit that I've done and all the shit that I've been through. And then he asked me again. And I didn't know who I was. You see, all these stories from the years of my life were all just lie after lie. I really didn't know who I was. I knew what this person wanted to be, and I knew what my wife wanted to be, so I was that person. And when I was meeting with clients, I would be that person. And then when I was at my parents' house, I would be that person. But when I got the question of who am I was lost. So there was a process of discovery. The second question I got was, why are you here? Why are you here? And for me, it was a series of questions regarding my business. Because again, I was under this false pretense that if you stack the money high enough, the foundation of your empire will grow. Money will make your business invincible. Money will make your marriage invincible. Money will create happiness. So when the question of why are you here, I obviously said, well, I just need to build my business. But if I didn't know who I was, question number one, how could I know it was possibly my business? Third question, where are you at? Baffled by that question, right? It's like, what do you mean where I'm at? And I think that question goes beyond just what the situation is, but where am I at up here? What am I feeling? What am I missing? Then it was followed up by another great question. Where do you want to go? And for some of you, you may have already thought, well, I want to go here. I want to make $1 million. I want to live on that mansion in the mountainside. But then there's a series of questions that follow beyond that, right? Why? Like, why? So where do you want to go was also a very stumbling question for me, because I couldn't even answer question number 1. And finally, the final question, number 5. What is in the way of getting what you want? What is in the way of getting what you want? And I was so jaded during that time that I thought, well, if I want to make all this money, I just want my wife to get out of the way. I just need my employees to be better employees. I just need the right opportunity to afford itself. So when you're in this space where you're not clear about what or why you want it, these questions become life-changing. So simple, and yet it has altered my life tremendously. So question number 1, who are you? Question number 2, why are you here? Question number 3 is, where are you at right now? Question number 4, where do you want to go? And question number 5, what is in the way of getting what you want? So you do have an assignment each time we do an acceleration video. And the first thing is to teach what you just learned. But in order to teach, you must do. In order to do, you must take these questions and think about them and apply them to your life. And the second assignment is to do it, to teach it to someone else. Okay? It's to actually take your examples and be able to go beyond that and have that impact on someone you love. Could be a friend, could be a family member. But those are questions that you need to answer yourself, then teach it. All right, guys? Thank you for joining me for Acceleration Day 1.